Have you ever been or are you currently in an online dating app, swiping left and right, trying to find your potential lifetime partner online? Can you find a suitable, Jesus-centered, true love in the pure kind of relationship that perhaps single men and women think no longer exist? Hello everyone, this is Vivian Manzo and I invite you to sit back, listen and be inspired as I share with you my story I titled Swipe Right, which is about the joys, the struggles, and wins of online dating. Like some of you single men and women out there, I signed on in a dating app and met this guy online who I will call Thunder. He is handsome. He also has a very sexy and a cute accent. He is established, living abroad while I live in the country, the Philippines. Like me, he is also Catholic and would go to church on Sundays without fail. Here too is a good man, and we got along pretty well. For me, he is God's answered prayer and a gift, or so I thought. While Thunder and I were planning for his visit to Manila to see me, it was a very exciting moment for the two of us. However, later on, he started opening up about me staying with him in his hotel and sleeping with him. I was surprised. Sharing the same Catholic faith, I thought he knew and understood the teachings of the faith. I am Catholic, and I adhere to the teachings of my faith, which is that sex is for married couples alone. That is why it is called marital act. His reaction was that, "Are you serious? You mean you've never been with a man before? How will we know if we're compatible in bed if we're not going to do it prior to getting married? And if we decide to get married and found out that we're such a disaster in bed, then for sure we will have an unhappy marriage." As if sex is the be-all and end-all of relationships and marriage for that matter. He also said that he will be flying miles and miles away from his country to mine, and he will not get his reward because I won't sleep with him. This is where the problem started. It was a long, constant, tedious push and pull. He would compromise with me and would try to convince me that it is okay to be sleeping together prior to getting married. My struggle at that time is that, how am I going to do this? How can I accommodate him without compromising my own values and beliefs? Should I compromise? And I was starting to have this gnawing feeling of fear that he will leave me or that I wouldn't hear from him because I couldn't give him what he thought would make him happy. There was also some sort of pressure among my peers because they were telling me that, hey, there's already a good guy and a good-looking guy wanting you. And we're already of age, we're independent, you're financially stable. So why not? Go ahead. And couples who are not yet married sleep together. So why can't you? That was a real struggle for me. But in my prayer time and date with our Lord, I told him, "Lord, why is this so hard? Why is this struggle so hard? Why does it seem that I cannot find a good man who can share my values and beliefs and who could wait for me?" But I also remember telling our Lord at that time, "Lord, I want to choose you. I choose you. I choose my Catholic vocation and to be a steadfast Catholic and a good woman." Eventually, yet painfully, I spoke to Thunder and told him to cancel out all our plans of him coming over to see me because we weren't going anywhere. I sincerely told him, though, that one day he will also find the right woman for him. I sort of hibernated from the online dating world, but in April of this pandemic year, I said that I should probably give it another chance. So I found myself swiping left and right again until I matched with this man named Will. I wasn't expecting much, but in my heart of hearts, I was hoping that it would be worth it this time. Will is also living abroad, interesting, good-looking, smart, and a kind, decent man. with godly values. Because it's pandemic and a lockdown, and we're geographically challenged because he's living in New York and I'm living in Manila, there was really nothing much that we could do. But to get to know each other, we found ourselves getting good at communicating and knowing each other better in terms of our interests, values, principles, and what we believed in life. I come to know that the amazing person that Will is because of his life experiences. Will has also came to know my non-negotiables, one of which is that I am not to sleep with a man unless I am married to him. He wasn't surprised. He even said that he would be more surprised if I was okay with premarital sex. I can truly say that Will is interested in me, my well-being, my person, my dignity, and most of all, my Catholic vocation. He said that there is so much more that he wants to get to know about me and to discover about me, so much more, so much so that sex can wait in its proper time in the context of marriage. He also said this, which I am very humbled and grateful for. He said that I would give you up in tears and a broken heart before I would damage your vocation or your love for the Lord. How wonderful. Will was also telling me that I am worth the wait. I know this guy Will is doing that ultimate sacrifice of waiting, because living in a culture where men and women who would sleep together even if they're not married is looked at as normal. And also being in an online world where the culture could be meet up and hook up. For the previous guy, Thunder, it was obviously what he would get out from me. But for Will, it was about what he could give and offer me. The acceptance, the respect, and this potential lifetime partnership that could hopefully lead to married and a happy family life and so much more. Truly, God cannot be outdone in generosity. I chose God over my potential relationship with Thunder, although that was very difficult. What God has given and blessed me with a better man in Will. Yes, it is possible to find a suitable, Christ-centered, true love, and a pure kind of relationship. But remember the following. First, acknowledge that being single doesn't mean you have to be unhappy or lonely. Be happy while being single. Serve God being single as you wait and discover what His plan for you is. Find your vocation. Second, someone once asked me, how would you know if the guy you're talking to online is telling you the truth? Well, in fact, you won't. In fact, even if someone is just beside you telling you things, or miles and miles away, and even if you're married to that person for a long time, but if that person doesn't want to tell you the truth, then you wouldn't find that out. Well, hopefully you would before it's too late. What I'm just trying to say is that get to know the person you're chatting with online. Keep talking and be good at communicating. Schedule frequent calls, and of course do video calls. Ask the right questions. Steer the conversation to relevant topics so that you would know the interests, the values, and the views of this person. And of course, you'd have to arrange meeting each other in person eventually. And yes, please meet eventually. Third, for the single women, remember that you are given this crown of glory as a daughter of God. And part of that crown are jewels and precious stones, which represent your values, your non-negotiables, your faith, your Catholic faith. And if a guy comes along and tries to take away those precious gems or that crown altogether away from you, it means that he is not worth it. Because a guy who is worth it would add more jewels to the crown. Because he knows that the more jewels your crown has, the more you radiate as a person, as a woman, He then celebrates your femininity or your dignity as a woman and as a daughter of God. Fourth, for the single man out there, if you see that crown in a woman and you share the same values and faith, she could be the one for you. Pursue her. Do not forget too that as a son of God, you carry the same crown, adorned with jewels. Get to know that woman. Know her person. Respect, love her, and discern about being in a serious relationship and marriage with her. And if she accepts your proposal to be in an exclusive relationship with her, it means that you are a man worth to be trusted, respected, loved, and cared for as well. You just have to patiently wait. Fifth, for the unmarried dating couples, feel blessed and thank our Lord that you have found each other. Have a pure heart. Do not focus on each other's bodies and what you can get out of each other. As Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Focus on the beauty of each other's souls, well-being, happiness, and goodness. Focus on having a relationship centered on Jesus. Celebrate your life as a couple, but be very steadfast when trials come. Pray and discern together, and do not be scared to take bigger steps towards a vocation called marriage. I am not an expert in relationships, nor I'm here giving that message that my values and views are much better than the others. Definitely not. To each his own. So with so much respect and charity, we accept people for who they are. Currently, Will and I are looking towards to being in a deeper commitment and relationship. And hopefully we will discover what the plan of God is for us. One day, praying and discerning that it would be giving Him glory as a married couple. Finally, I dare say, go ahead. Find your lifetime partner online, dating on online, or date online, but with so much prudence. Go through the journey. Remember though, that swiping right means choosing God. Be happy, and if you can make it right, by all means, swipe right.